the answers are inside. Yeah, I am the 21st century superhuman. Now is the time. Come on everyone, let's celebrate. We are the children of the sun. I can see you when I look into your eyes. We are the same, and we are light, yeah, we are one. Here now, hear my ancient prayer and sing along. We are awakening as one, and we can make a difference. Yeah, we can be the change it takes to make the world.
Hi there, I'm Carrie Ellis, author of 21st Century Superhuman. This is our 21st Century Superhuman show, and today I have with me my wonderful sister, Jen Lighty. Jen, how are you today?
Hi, Carrie. I'm great.
You're
I'm excited to talk to you.
Yeah, we're both in Mexico, down in the southern Yucatan. You're frozen a little bit right now, but I think we should get you live on the screen again here. You're just an amazing Janzu practitioner, which is this kind of water therapy, water healing, water opening. I'm going to turn my video off here in just a second and switch over to you. Hi there. I see you live now. So I'm going to turn it over to you, and I'm going to ask you, tell us how you got involved in this amazing water therapy, water opening, water transformation. I think so many people on the planet are waking up and are wanting to tap into their essence and become more in the flow with their being. And I think this water work is such a beautiful way to do that. So tell us how you got involved, a little of your background, and then I'd love to hear the story of how Janzu came into being, because I think that's a very amazing story. But go ahead, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Okay, thanks, Carrie.
Yeah.
Well, I got involved in Janzu. I first heard about Janzu 3 years ago when I was living in Tulum, Mexico, about 3 hours north of where I live now in Bacalar. And it's one of those things, as soon as I did it, I really felt, how come I haven't been doing this my whole life? And in a lot of ways, I feel like my whole life I've been preparing for this. My path to it was really intuitive, and it wasn't anything logical. Like, I never had a moment where I thought, I'm going to be an aquatic healer. I didn't even know these things existed. And like, kind of the best paths, the biggest revelations, it really came to me through pain and heartbreak. I was actually introduced to Janzu, the therapy that I practiced, by someone I was in love with that abandoned me. So it's always kind of works that way, right? And then 2 years ago, after I'd ended this relationship, I received sessions. I went and found the person that I'd read an article about to get a Janzu session, and this man was named Sol Naciente, who's the main teacher of Janzu now in the world, I would say. And I started getting sessions from him, and I just experienced these incredible healings on a physical and emotional level at first with him, and I sort of progressed from there into becoming a practitioner myself. I went through such a transformation. I just said, I have to do this. And I went and got trained with Sol, and now I'm doing this work myself with other people.
And Jen, I would say, don't you think this water, I don't know if you even call it therapy, really, do you? Or do you call it just...
I think water, it's hard with the words. Some of these words have been used so many times, they're kind of stale.
Right.
And then there's kind of regulations in the US around certain words that we're trying to stay away from as we develop Janzu, because we don't want to be fit into like the regulations that are required around like massage and like therapy and things.
Massage therapy. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I like to say water rebirth. I don't use the word massage. I don't use.
Nice.
In the United States in particular, but I like water rebirthing is a really good way to use.
I like
to
that.
describe it.
I think we're coming into a time when people are realizing we can rejuvenate ourselves. We can bring a state of well-being back, because so many things about the old system have kind of just been crushing in on people, and people get worn out and tired of fighting. feeling it in their body and their minds and their hearts. And when we begin opening ourselves up this way, as people will see in the pictures we're going to show in a little bit, which are absolutely magnificent, there's this activation that happens of our life force, and we begin growing younger, we begin growing healthier, we begin accessing this deep core well of kind of endless life that's flowing in us. And I love that about it.
Yeah, I can definitely testify in my own personal experience that's what my path has been. And now I've seen it happen with hundreds of people that I've worked with, either, individually or seeing other people. Like I live in an amazing community called Bacalar, which is in southern Quintana Roo on the Yucatan Peninsula, about an hour from the Belize border, on this lake called the Laguna de los Siete Colores, which is the lake of seven colors. And it's named because there actually 7 shades of blue here. And there's a community of people here that are part of this movement. And it's just starting, which is exciting to be here kind of in the beginning of it. But it's sort of becoming, I see that it's becoming the worldwide center of this kind of water healing. And we're, blessed to have the lake grant us permission. And I feel like we've all been called here by the water to take this message out, to like work with this and connect, because water flows over the whole planet. The other thing about it, water is finite. There's only a certain amount of water here, and it's all in the whole planet. So if we're here, we're reaching out over the whole planet every time we rebirth. So affecting everyone.
I love that. And I feel like among the people who are here, there's a very high honoring of the water itself and of the energy. This is a really beautiful portal here. A lot of really high energy. And and then you also do Janzu in the ocean as well, correct? All different places.
Yeah, I've worked in Maui, and then I've had a long relationship with an island called Block Island, which is a small island off the coast of Rhode Island. So that's kind of like a touchstone for me. Like I was really initiated by that place, by the land there. I spent 12 years year round there, almost like leading kind of like a monastic life, more contact with animals and nature and rocks. And that was the beginning of my deprogramming, and that prepared me to go out into the world to do what I do now. So I always want to touch base with there. I'll be there again this summer working.
That's awesome.
It's incredible. There's a lot of different bodies. Yeah, to be in the ocean is with Janzu is just really exciting.
Yeah.
Too.
So tell us a little bit about how Janzu evolved and the gentleman who brought it into being.
Well, one of the things I really like about Janzu is that it's still tapped into an oral tradition. None of this is written down. It's all been passed on. So what I learned from my teacher, Sol Naciente, who, he told me these stories. So if I get something wrong, it's the way the oral tradition works. Things morph as they go through the storyteller. But what I learned from Sol was that Janzu was founded by a Mexican man named Juan Patik Villatoro when he was living in Pune, India, in the Osho community. And one day Juan was watching a Watsu session, which some people in the US may have heard of. It was founded in Harbin Hot Springs in California. And Watsu is, shiatsu in water. So Juan saw this and then was inspired by that. And then the story I received from Sol is that Juan channeled Janzu after watching Watsu. And there were dynamics of Juan and his culture being Mexican that came into the therapy that were different from Watsu, meaning it was a lot more dynamic. There's a lot more motion. So there are elements of martial arts and dance. Like Sol said, he's Mexican. There was like kind of elements of salsa. When you'll see in the photos, Janzu is very dynamic. We move the body a lot in the water. The other story I heard about Juan was that he claimed that this therapy was used in Atlantis, which completely makes sense once you experience it. There's something about Janzu, we can look at the pictures, but you're really not going to know what it's like until you experience it. It's very shamanic. It's really experiential treatment. One thing, sadly, Juan left the planet about 10 years ago. he came back from India, moved to Guatemala, and from there was working in Lake Atitlan, and that's where my teacher Sol met him. Sol worked with him directly for 5 years, and then when Juan died, Sol became the trainer and has kind of moved his way up to Mexico and been in the Yucatan for about 8 years, training people here and kind of holding the energy for people to create this community. It's been incredible. I know you talked to Alex from Aguajara, and he was actually the person that trained Sol originally too. So it's really like a community that's blossoming. It's really a flow that we're all in together.
Beautiful.
It's exciting.
And I have met Sol as well, and I look forward to potentially doing a show with him also. We'll kind of bring this new field into kind of greater awareness, because I think
definitely
many people will continue to benefit from it. And I think, in the fact that Juan is no longer on the planet, and he had a very strong connection, as you mentioned, also to Lao Tzu, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And I
yes. The name Janzu he created the name, and it's a hybrid of his name, sort of with Juan and Tzu from Lao Tzu, because the Tao Te Ching was really important to him. And when you read the Tao Te Ching, there's so many references to water and to the path of mastery, as being in the flow in order to become a master of yourself.
One of my favorite sayings that a friend of mine always says from Lao Tzu is, "Stand like a mountain, flow like a river."
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. So why don't we go ahead and look at some of your slides? We have just amazing, beautiful pictures that you've shared with us, and you can talk about Janzu and how it works and how it, what happens when you're doing it. I think anybody could look at this and say, wow, I can go out in the water and try this. But there's also trainings going on different places in the world, and they're kind of in the flow. It isn't like there's some really set structure. And I've noticed that about the people who are working with water. Everybody's kind of flowing. But since next winter, if somebody wanted to come to this area, they could probably study with you, study with Sol. Even Alex may be in the area. So, and I also take people on tours, and will be bringing people when I bring them into this region or wherever there's this water rebirthing work going on. I'll probably be bringing people to that as well. So it's a very exciting, gentle, flowing movement, and it's kind of outside of the old system of doing things, but it has a really beautiful way of ebbs and flows, I think.
Yeah, it's really a good description of what we're doing.
Yeah.
Well said.
And you'll be practicing up at Block Island this summer, right?
Yeah, I'll be on Block Island. As far as I know, that I'm flowing towards Block Island. I have tickets. I'm planning to be there July, August, and September to work with people there, but we'll see where the water takes me.
There you go. And that's Block Island.
I know I'll be there for a while. Yeah.
Yeah. Block Island is offshore from Rhode Island, right? In the Atlantic.
Yeah. It's a completely magic place, an hour off the coast of Rhode Island. Really mystical place.
Beautiful. Okay. Let's switch over to the slides a second here. And I just need to do screen share. And start sharing screen. View full screen. Okay. So go ahead, Jen, and you can just start telling us about these as we go through. Is this your website?
It is. Yep, janzuaquaflow.com. I'm in the process of actually changing. I have 2 names for my site.
Okay.
So that both of the domains still work.
Okay.
I can explain why I'm doing that if you'd like. Would that make sense now or later?
If you want to, go ahead. Sure.
Yeah, I'll just tell you quickly. I've created a new way of sharing Janzu that's less session oriented and more oriented towards working with groups. And it's called Aqua Odyssey. So my website, it's the same site, but it's also called aquaodyssey.com. And I'm transitioning to that site because I want to be working with groups in order to I want to be giving people more of an experience instead of a training. There are other people that will train technically,
right?
But I want to help people access, a really creative right brain, nonlinear space, and then bring them in the water to teach them how to give each other treatments in a really creative, easy way that's not technical, where
That's
it's, I'm coming from a right brain.
So theoretically,
I like the word odyssey.
That's the.
I chose the word Odyssey because an Odyssey is a journey home through water from from the Odyssey by Homer.
Nice.
So that's why I chose that.
Nice. I think we have that posted at the end of the slideshow. So theoretically, someone who was going to do a group who were going to do a workshop in a location or a gathering could invite you to do, what are you calling it? Odyssey?
Aqua Odyssey.
Aqua Odyssey. So they could invite you to come and do some group sessions with their group, right? In order to help.
I would love that. Invite me. Otherwise, I'm inviting you all here.
Great. Yep. Good. I can see you going around the world doing this.
That's my vision. Yeah.
Go ahead. Just tell us what's going on in each of these spots.
This is a session. This is actually the end of a session. Part of the rebirthing process is pulling the person back onto land. Sometimes we'll end in the water. One of the things that's really special about Janzu is that it's always done in natural bodies of water. And if there was no water available except for a pool, I would do a session in a pool because I want people to experience it. But when you're in living water, you're actually getting healing from the water spirits themselves. And I'm not going to say there are no water spirits in a pool, but I know you can feel when you're in a natural body of water, how powerful it is. So at the end of a session, I pull a person onto the shore and I finish with them there, doing grounding. A lot of times that's where the most relaxation occurs for a person. A lot of times it can be really hard, if you're going through a birth process,
right?
That experience of coming down the birth canal and being in the light for the first time, you can be in a really tender and vulnerable place.
Beautiful.
So I love this photo. For me, it shows the quality of touch and tenderness that occurs between the giver and the receiver at the end of a session. So that's why I love this.
Nice.
I love this photo.
Nice.
Yeah. This was a photo I took last year. You can just see this water. It's just my hand. I was playing in the water and I just, snapped this photo. I felt like I was looking at the stars and the sun and just this incredible water here in Bacalar. This is, me, one of the 7 colors.
To me, it's almost like we're seeing plasma energy coming off of your hand, the water.
Yeah. Yeah. This was an experiment I did. That was the first session ever done in Maine. There are other people that are doing Genzo in the U.S., but not very many. I think there are a couple people in Hawaii that I know of on the Big Island. But as far as I know, I know this is the first time this is ever done in Maine. And it was cold. So I have this gentleman put on a wetsuit. And it was incredible. It's actually really interesting doing sessions in cold water. They're more intense. Much more intense. Like the processes that people go through, the cold water push people into altered states much quicker. So I was at a conference in Maine last year called the Great Mother Conference.
Beautiful.
Which is an amazing gathering that's been happening for 40 years on mythopoetics of a group of people that are really dedicated to exploring their own souls and then the soul of our culture. So it was really beautiful to be offer Genzu there with people. So wetsuits are hard though because you float, so it's hard to get people under the water. But it's better to get them in the water than not. I figure wetsuit works there. Here's this is the pictures with working with this my friend from Germany, Kai Eisentraut, who actually took a lot of these photos for me here in Bacalar. And you can see here when a person gets really relaxed, we start to do immersions, which, bringing people under the water. And that's where a lot of times some really, really deep healing and relaxation happens.
Nice.
Yeah. Here's another immersion. This one, people love this. You're in that, you're just suspended and you're really getting an opportunity to feel like what it was like when you're inside your mother hanging upside down about to come into the world.
Yeah.
So, yeah. This was a woman on Maui last year who we did 7 sessions in a row. And I told her at the beginning, and in 7 days, and I told her, I said, you know, you're going to hate me at some point. And she, you know, she called me up crying on day 3, you know, having had a fight with her mom and everything. But this is what we did on the last day. You know, this is how she felt on the 7th day. So I love this photo to see the transformation that she was, you know, brave enough to go through.
Nice.
So the triumph in her face, right? Here we are again working in Bacalar. More photos in Bacalar with Kai.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, and you can see, yeah, it's so beautiful. And the Laguna here, you know, you can see here this water is full of, this is, you know, like a lot of lakes have a lot of algae and, you know, life in them. It's good. We want plants and fish. But one of the things that's so amazing about Bacalar is the mineral content of the water is so high. So there's not a lot of vegetation growing. So it's just these huge expanses of the land like this, and you know, there's this sand underneath us that's full of minerals, which makes it so great. It makes you just walk right in the water, and there's really a feeling of, you know, for people that are used to murky water or the ocean, where there's, you know, there's a lot of fear that's been put in us about the ocean, about sharks or animals or things. You go in this water, it's so welcoming. It really is a perfect place to go back into the womb and feel safe. Even if you didn't feel safe in the womb, which I know is the state for some people, this is an opportunity for you to re-experience your own birth process and feel safe, because there's nothing in this water that can hurt you. There's nothing you're going to step on. You know, there's no sharks, there's no eels. There's some crocodiles, but they're way, way far down at the other end, and they don't come near any people ever. So yeah, they're good. Here's it's amazing because this is the same day as that photo we just saw. You know, this is within like 5 minutes. But you can just say, like, you know, how the light shifts here so quickly and how the colors of the water change. And this man was an amazing person to work with because he was such a fluid being that, like, we really had some amazing photos we could make with him here.
Nice.
Yeah. Here I am again, moving with Osan. Janzu really is, you know, because it's really a dance between the giver and the receiver and the water, and then the water spirit. So that's what, when you see these photos, that's what I'm dancing. He's dancing.
Yeah, it's amazing energy. Just gorgeous.
Yeah. Yeah. This is actually a photo of me taken when I did my training with Soul.
Nice.
That I've used for promo a lot. One thing you can see in that photo, just so people, and you can see in this one too, one of the things that makes this possible is we wear nose clips. Right. So for people that are, you know, wanting to go to their homes and, you know, just try this, I definitely recommend people try this with your friends and loved ones. Just get yourself a nose clip. You can get them online or in sporting shops. And just float, just put your one hand under the knees, one hand under the neck, and just start floating a person around and see what happens. Just that act of being supported in the water I've seen people cry just from that. But a nose clip really helps because it'll help for the water from going up your nose in case you slip. When you get really relaxed, your neck goes right under the water. Here we are. This is working on Block Island. You can see it's a completely different terrain, and this is a beautiful freshwater pond, a spring fen pond there that I give sessions in there. It's a different quality of water. This is working with someone after that I pulled out of the water. So a good friend of mine named Carly that I just adore. And we met through Janzu, which makes our friendship even more special to me. But you can see what a deep state of relaxation she's in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And here, I'm doing immersion with Carly. It was really fun to work. I really like to work with people over a long period of time through multiple sessions. And, Carly's a great example of that because, her first session, she was open and willing, but, her body's a little stiff. And I don't think we went underwater so much at first. And by the time she left Bacalar, I'm sure I'd given her 20 sessions. So she was really at the point where she could just stay under the water. She was relaxed when we started.
Wow.
So we really were able to really go some deep places together.
Nice.
Yeah.
This is beautiful.
Yeah, this is just like, I feel like when I see this is Osan, who is in some of the other photographs, and I just feel so blessed that I get to share this with people and with these beautiful beings. I'm just sort of,
Mhm.
when I think about what my life was like before I started doing this, I just, it's like I lived in a different dimension, in a different
Yeah,
life. Like,
absolutely.
I became who I was supposed to be through this. So
Thank
I never
goodness.
forget that.
Thank goodness
Yeah.
you're following your heart. I mean, it's so
Yeah.
important.
Yeah. Here we are in Block Island again in the cold water in this beautiful pond.
Mhm.
So this is Osan. A lot of times people hug me when they sit back up. The first thing they do is hug, which I love. So it's
Mhm.
really, you can see all the sand in his hair, and you're really in contact with the elements in this. You're going to feel the sand and the water, and it's really, I love this. Look at her
Nice.
smiles. I just wanted to show people here how beautiful the lake is on a calm day. So that's why I included this photo.
This is
You can see
incredible.
by the different colors reaching, the 7 colors in the distance.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah. This is an area of, this is the headwaters for a laguna called Los Rapidos, the rapids. So the Bacalar Laguna is formed through cenotes and rainwater. So cenotes are underground rivers that flow through all of the Yucatan. Basically, the Yucatan Peninsula is a huge river system, and it opens up in different places like Bacalar, where there's the laguna, and then and underneath the laguna are deep, deep sinkholes that are filling with water all the time.
Right.
So we've got these flowing water always coming through here.
And
So
it's
basically, we're
amazing.
just living in a big
Yeah,
water
it's
paradise here.
amazing that it's sweet water too that's coming up through. And
I
there's a couple of
know. I
warm
know.
sulfur springs coming up through that, but we're not getting salt
Yeah.
water seeping up through. We're getting this amazing, beautiful, pure high. It's very alkaline water. It's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing. When you get out of this water, you don't feel a need to rinse off. You want to
Right.
keep the water on you. It's really amazing.
Yeah.
And I'd love to, I don't know, did you and Alex talk about the stromatolites? I'd love to
We did
tell
talk
people
about them a
about.
little bit, but go ahead and talk about it a little bit. Just quick.
One of the other things that's so incredible about Bacalar is that it's one of 3 places left on the planet that have these life forms called stromatolites, stromatolitos in Spanish. And they're formed from cyanobacteria, which are the most primitive form of bacteria on the planet. And they look like stone-like reef formations. So you'll see
Isn't
them all
that
over the
kind of what
laguna.
we're seeing in the water anyway?
Yeah, you can see them in the foreground of the photo.
Mm-hmm.
So these stromatolites are alive, they're like freshwater reefs, basically made out of bacteria, and they are constantly, on a biological level, are cleaning the water all the time, which is one of the reasons it's so clear. But I think on a spiritual level, they're really, on an energetic level, they're really, really supercharging this water with some really powerful energy.
Definitely.
And they say that you've been in the water, so they say that if life on Earth ends, this is one of the places where it could restart, because of the stromatolites are one of them. If human life ends, this is where we could start the whole process over again because of these stromatolites. So there's really a lot of awareness in Bacalar of how important they are, because tourism is just developing here. So there's really a conscious movement to keep the stromatolites safe and to preserve the laguna, which I'm really excited to see.
That is
Yeah.
really awesome.
Yeah.
And Alex had mentioned that they're really millions of years old. So the kind of information even that's being generated when you're in the field is profound.
Exactly.
And I just got chills when you said you felt Janzu, that Juan said Janzu was practiced in Atlantis, and this, you feel very Atlantic. It feels very ancient when you're in the water doing these things here.
Yeah.
Multidimensional, ancient, eternal. I mean, just a lot of words that are sort of beyond our typical 3D world. And I'm sure the stromatolites contribute to that.
Yes. Yeah, they're definitely imprinting us with some ancient knowledge when we enter this water. This is a photo of 2 friends of mine giving each other session, John Lilienberg and Dago Gonzalez. And I just love the tenderness between people in this. And it's really beautiful to see two men giving each other sessions, which, you know, you see a lot. I find that people in the aquatic water healing community and in contact improv communities have such good relationships with touching each other. And you don't especially find that very often with men. I'm from the US, so I can't speak for the whole world, but in the culture that I'm come from, it's not common to see two men in an embrace, in a tender, vulnerable place like this.
Nice.
You see that all the time here.
Yeah.
In this world. Yeah.
Beautiful.
This is, yeah, it's just beautiful. Look at the surrender there. This is, I just love this. This is the water at its best, you know, no waves, no wind. So I just wanted to show people, look, you know, I just love it. It's a mirror. The water is a reflection of who we are.
Mm-hmm.
Here's another photo of John and Dago. And then you can see Paco and another man behind. This was at a training last year that Soul gave. So these are people that I met during Soul's training that I sat in on last year and helped out a little bit at. And it's great. The trainings are really good for creating community as well. You know, that's how most of us all meet, is through these trainings. I made some great friends. Here I am again doing an immersion with Osan, the man that was hugging me before. This is some promotional work I developed. You know, it's one of my posters I have up around town here.
Nice.
Yeah. Thank you.
Gorgeous picture.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, no, I felt a really beautiful, this is another person I work with a little bit, you know, a few sessions, and we had a really beautiful connection. Yeah. And here is Carly just relaxing at the end. It's John and Jago again. Osan. More pictures. This is a woman named Julia, Mexican woman.
Nice.
Yeah. More pictures of Kai and me. But, you know, you can feel like when you look at the sun, you can see the sun on that. There's the elemental connection is so powerful. This photo here, you can see the sparkles in the light. I started talking about the next one. Sorry.
It's okay. Oh, go ahead. I wasn't sure where you were. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, this one here, this is the first Aqua Odyssey that I offered. And this was at the Liquid Flow Festival, which you talked about with Alex. It's been going on for 5 years. And it's contact improv and water dance. So what I'm doing here is I've created a method. It's improvisational. It's going to be different every time I do it. But my friend Fabiana is playing it's called a happy drum. It's like some people might have heard of the hung drum. So it's this liquid sound. So I had her accompanying me. And then I was working with dance, improvisational dance and movement and sound therapy before we go in the water and start doing the body work. So that's the direction I'm heading in now with Aqua Odyssey.
Gorgeous.
So this is the first time I offered it in the liquid flow here. So it was nice. It was really exciting for me
Beautiful.
to offer this, definitely. Well, this is actually on the Big Island, and this is before I did Janzu, but I put this in here because I feel like this is, you know, a kind of a prophecy of who I was meant to be on the planet. This is me swimming with the spinner dolphins on Big Island, which I did for a whole winter. You know, the dolphins are definitely connected to this therapy. And I know you work with dolphins as well.
Right.
For years. And a lot of people who do this have a connection. I had a strong connection with dolphins when I was a kid. It never went away my whole life. And then the year I was 41 was I actually swam with them. And I wasn't even planning it. I just looked over and there was a dolphin. And then every day, that was my life.
Nice.
So I really feel like I received a lot of openings, energetic openings from them. And then it led me on this path to where I am now.
Yeah. A lot of us dolphins are mentors, teachers, spirit animals, guides from other dimensions, a lot of things like that. Yeah. They carry a really beautiful essence.
Sure do. Yeah. Here we are back in Bacalar. More immersions with Osan. This is actually me after I received a session from Soul, the master himself. So, and I'm laying on a stromatolite here. He pulled me out of the water and laid me on this at the end. So,
beautiful.
And then he took a picture and sent me this.
Nice.
This is just more photos of Bacalar. I wanted people to see what it's like here. And, this is the typical constructions here. These, we have the palapas and docks. It's very simple. It's like a very simple place.
Yes.
Sailing and Janzu are the main things to do here, and kayak.
Gorgeous. Yes.
Yeah.
One of the local guys who has sailboats, takes people out in boats on the lake, was telling me the other day that sometimes people come here with a lot of money wanting to build really big things, and it just never works out. There's almost a protective energy here to keep this place natural.
Yeah.
And there's a really beautiful natural community emerging. And people from all over the world, and a lot from Mexico and Central and South America, and the States, and Spain, and different places.
Yeah. Yeah, it's international, which I like. I like meeting people from all over the world.
Right.
Here I am working with, you can see, on a physical level, I don't talk about the physical benefits very often, because I'm just really, really focused, and I get really excited by the spiritual healing that I see, the emotional healing. But physically, there are things that can happen in Janzu that you can't release on land because of the way that the spine can move, in a serpentine motion. The main area of tension that I find in people are in their necks and hips, but especially in the neck. So this is, you can see here, I'm like starting to work on her head, like doing some craniosacral work and getting her neck to loosen up.
Nice.
So I've had people tell me, they had sciatica, and then their sciatica was gone after 2 sessions and never come back. So it's really, really good for loosening up the spine. And I feel like this loosening up the spine awakens the Kundalini energy and keeps us youthful in that state of constant regeneration, like you were talking about.
Yes.
You can see here, like the motions. So many of the motions work on like moving the lower back, like getting that Kundalini flowing. This is, finishing at the end. It's people can be transported into other dimensions through this. It's really important for me to help them ground at the end. So I'll just do some light touch at the end here. And I want people to feel, I feel like so many of us have been abandoned by people in our lives. A lot of people I'm finding now are on a path of like a wounded healer.
Right.
They're going through a lot of wounds and traumas in order to claim their power. It is a spiritual awakening. Like, we're not victims here at all. We're choosing this. But one of the things that can really help people transform is to have someone there when they go through this process. So at the end, I'm there, I'm holding the space, I'm there for the person at the end, which I've noticed that really helps because it can really heal some deep abandonment wounds that people are carrying.
Nice.
And being abandoning ourselves as well. A lot of people aren't encouraged by our culture to follow their heart anymore. Right. We abandon ourselves all the time. Mm-hmm. And when the process is very, very emotional for people.
Gorgeous.
Yeah. Here I am with my dear friend Carly again. With Osan. So you can see one of the things that's really special about one of the special qualities that Janzu can do is it helps people work with surrender and trust. And you can see, with Osan, he obviously trusts me here, but he's face down under the water. So, and that, that's can be a thing, he really trusts me to like bring him back up. So of course he could at any time put his head back up. But in general, when someone's really surrendered, they're going to let me move them and they have to trust that I'll bring them up for air. I never push anyone. Like I feel like I know when it's time for people to come. But for people that have issues with surrender and trust, this is a really, really powerful therapy. Yeah. This is just another of those incredible shots of the water here. Yeah. More immersions with Osan. Another picture of my friend Paco working with someone on this training last year.
Amazing, the level of surrender there.
Yeah. Look at that body. This looks like a classical sculpture to me. It could be like something by Michelangelo.
It could. It's gorgeous.
So beautiful. Another picture of Kai. I like this. I feel like you get sense of the dance in these photos.
Mm-hmm. It's gorgeous.
Yeah. These are two other friends of mine that my friend Yael, who's also a Jansu practitioner living here in Bacalar, and working on a man and Andres in the training last year.
Gorgeous. So much peace. Peaceful.
I know. Yeah. You can just see it in the posture of his body.
Mm-hmm.
This is another man that went through the training named Ami, who's he works up in Tulum now giving sessions.
Nice.
And I was really lucky to get a session from him. So
nice.
Yeah.
Beautiful picture.
Yeah. Yeah. This is just an underwater shot. I'm working on getting some video. I have a GoPro. I'm going to get some more video on a good day one of these days, but just seeing what it's like under the water.
Yeah, it's nice kind of just seeing what you're having to do to yourself.
Yeah. I mean, there is technique to learn here, you know, it's like, and so when you look underwater, you'll see like the foundation of the whole session are my legs.
Right.
You mentioned being a mountain, but flow. That is that I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like my legs are the mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah. My legs are the mountain in this. So the stepping that I do is like how we get the fluidity, but the strength in my legs is the foundation.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to go into a flow here that you did with me, and we'll just go through it really fast, like we're looking at a video.
So people can see it.
Can you see what time Can you see what time it is by any chance? I don't have a clock near me.
It's 1:14.
Okay, so we should aim for being done in like the next 5 minutes. So we're going to flow through this kind of quickly. And really what we want to do here, we put a lot of slides in. We want to just give an idea of the flow of what it looks like when you're doing a session. And this was really wonderful. You've done a few sessions with me that I've really enjoyed and getting a lot of benefit from, and I'm learning to relax more and more. It's just an amazing process.
Great.
Go ahead.
If you want to just show them and I won't say anything,
no, go
is
ahead.
that
Go ahead.
best?
No. Go ahead and talk a little bit as we go through. If you want me to stop, but we'll just kind of do a flow here.
Yeah. You can see the stromatolites on the edge of the picture here. So we're in the supercharged water. And it's really beautiful to work with someone as relaxed and open as you. I'm just intoxicated looking at the photos right now. I feel like watching a session is as healing as getting one sometimes. Mm-hmm. I've actually had people cry from just watching. Like I pulled a person out of the water and seen people crying and gone and talked to them about what was happening for them. And they are getting as much healing from watching as if they've been in the water with me.
Yeah. This is just amazing. All the different things you do, all the different positions that you, and the way you just flow the body. Oh my God. It's just amazing to be in. And I was so multi-dimensional when I'm in it. You know, sometimes you feel like you're in the womb. Sometimes you just feel like you're in no time and space.
Wow. I'm just like, I just get enchanted like watching this. Beautiful. Yeah. And the water is, the water carries emotions. So not only are you going to experience your emotions, a lot of times you're going to experience the emotions that are in the water that are being carried around the planet. So when we have a session, we can clear our own emotions, but we can also clear emotions for the collective that are being carried through the medium of water. So on that level, the more we do this, the more we're able to heal humanity and the planet.
Nice.
So it's just really important. Yeah.
So we're going to go from
I
this
think
to your session with Aaron that we did the other day.
Sure. Yeah.
This is such a great shot.
Yeah. So here, this is my friend Erin, who's visiting now from the U.S. She just took those great pictures of Carrie, of you. Mm-hmm. And you can see like, one of the things I like about these pictures of her in particular is you can really see how Jansu's for like all different body types. It's for everybody. Like anybody can experience benefits from this therapy. And a lot of times you see videos of people that look like supermodels, when you go online. And I really, I've always wanted to do photos and videos of all different kinds of people. I've worked with a person in a wheelchair, a paraplegic. I've worked with elderly people, children. So here we go underwater with her. Yeah, you could see that the straight. Erin's a great dancer, so so I feel like she was really open to the dance part of this.
Yeah, she was really
That's a great photo.
Beautiful.
Yeah, yeah, beautiful. Here she is at the end, relaxed. I put her head on the stromatolite, and she just floated there for a long time. She just really let go. Beautiful. That's another poster I made.
So aquaodyssey.com.
Actually, yeah, and I'm actually going to be hosting my first group here. I do have dates for that if people are interested. It's not up on the website yet, but I'm going to have my first group here December 6th through 10th in Bacalar, and that'll be up on the website soon.
Great.
And I'm going to have a lot more going on next winter.
And whatever information you have, Jen, we can also put it under the video on YouTube, and then we can always add to that. So there's kind of an ongoing.
Oh, great. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for sharing this with us. It's just an amazing art. I want to invite people to begin to be in the water in new ways and begin opening yourself up to your own flow of your being, the flow of your heart and soul, the flow of your life force. And if you can gently share this with someone else in order to get that experience of just being cradled or held, that's just amazing. It's mind-blowing to have that happen. And I mean, I cried the first time another friend did it with me, just cried, because it was just such an amazing feeling to just be held,
Yeah.
And
yeah, it really is profound, and it's really something that we need as we rebirth the divine feminine on our planet and start to embody that within actual human bodies. To have a direct experiential, I call it a shamanic experience, in the sense that experiential, it's something we know. It's not something we've read in a book. It's actually coming through. It's a tangible experience of the spiritual, of the feminine in particular, that I just feel so blessed. I went to another dimension for a minute. Yeah. I had to go back to Atlantis for a little bit.
We do that together. We've had so much fun since we met through my friend Caroline, and we feel like we're so sisters.
Caroline.
Like sisters from a different mother, and we feel like some beautiful energy that we connect on being here.
Yeah.
So, thank you so much for being with us today, and I just want to encourage everyone: breathe, smile, love, connect with your own heart. Let go of any old data, not of love, body, mind, and spirit. Let yourself flow in your lives. And we shall see you on this great rainbow of light of change that's going on planet Earth. And look forward to meeting you in person, having you come and do Janzu sessions with Jen, or take classes, or be part of festivals, workshops, or we'll see you just online. So thank you, Jen.
Thank you, Carrie. So see you in the water.
All right. Yeah, we'll see you in the water. Okay. Many blessings.
Wave of change. Many blessings to everyone.
Wave of change. I love it. Ciao.
So, yeah. Ciao.